guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and the typewriter market has swung again. So I've been collecting typewriters for about 5 years now, and one thing I've noticed is that prices are always up and down. It's constantly changing. It's really hard to know what the market's like. And I've been talking to some other collectors, and they've mentioned that they think the market's at an all-time high. Things just are really expensive. Now that could be inflation, that could be just the economy in general, but it's made me wonder what kind of typewriters are out there. I normally don't look at typewriters that are over a $25 price limit, so I haven't been looking much recently. So today we're going to play a little game to see if I can correctly guess the price of typewriters in my area. So the rules of the game are, I have a bunch of screenshots sent to me by some lovely assistants of typewriters that are on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. Now the prices are out of the first screenshot. I'm going to guess using context clues how much that typewriter is, and then we'll go to the next slide and figure out if I'm right or not. And that's it. That's the video. It's time for a game of Guess That Price. Introducing our only contestant. Woo! Oops. Okay, so here is our very first post. Oh, nope, that's the example slide I sent. Okay, this is labeled as a vintage Royal portable typewriter. So, okay. Context clues. They have the whole typewriter in frame, which is good. A lot of lower quality posts tend to zoom in really far on the typewriter and you really can't see anything. It does put the name of the brand in the title, which shows that they at least know how to do a little bit of research on a machine. And I can see here that it's a carousel post because it's got those little dots in the bottom, which means they took multiple photos. So this person knows what they're doing selling this typewriter, which means they might also know how much it's worth. I can't tell the model off of this one. So I'm gonna guess $75. 15. Okay, that's a good deal. I would definitely buy that. On to our next post. Okay, here's a Memory Keeper's typewriter. Now these have inflated value because they are modern remakes of a typewriter, so you can get one for I think like $225 if you go to like Home Depot or you buy them on Amazon. We've had these on the channel before. I did do a review of that. I'll link that up in the cards. I do not like these very much. They're not built very well. They're not like a vintage typewriter. So I'm curious to see what this person would list it as. Well, I would sell it for $25, but I don't think this person did. I'm gonna guess $115. $25. Wow. Okay, I'm really bad at this. Here's a typewriter, Smith Corona green keys. So this looks like a Smith Corona Sterling. Looks like they have a lot of photos here in this carousel. Now the other thing to keep in mind here is where these people are for Facebook Marketplace posts. So I asked a few people from a few different areas to send me photos for this. I think these were probably done by my mom. And she's in an area where typewriters are a lot cheaper than where I am right now. So if I put myself in the mindset of being home and I'm looking at typewriters, and this is a Smith Corona, which is one of my favorite brands, and this is from the 5 series, which is one of my favorites in typewriters, I'm going to guess 75. Because if it was anything less than that, she would have sent it to me already. 50. I'm getting closer. Ooh, I've seen this one before, which is kind of cheating. This is Olympia typewriter in case. So I have seen this one before, and this is the only photo they have listed in it, which you can see the whole typewriter, but you can't really see if there's any damage on it. And I do think that this was associated with like an estate sale company. And companies that are selling these do a little bit of research so that they know how much that machine is worth. I think when I looked at this before, it was $100, because I think I looked at this the last time I went home. And if it's still on Facebook Marketplace and it's still listed at a high price and it's been there for a while, that's an indication that that price is too high for that market area. So that is something to keep in mind. So I'm guessing 100. Yes, right on. Point for, I'm not a Gryffindor, I'm a Ravenclaw. So point for Ravenclaw. We have an Underwood Champion. In the case, there's only one photo, and it's just listed as vintage typewriter. So there's no indication of model or brand name. They're missing the bottom end of the typewriter, and it's only one photo. So that might indicate to me that they're really just trying to sell the machine. Also, my mom left me comments. This one says, run, don't walk. So I'm guessing it's probably pretty cheap because that would indicate that it's a good buy. So I'm going to guess $15. And the answer is 25. That's not bad. I would probably purchase that if I was still trying to amass as many typewriters as humanly possible. I might message her about that one. Kind of like it. Now we've got a 1956 pink Royal Quiet Deluxe manual typewriter. They spelled deluxe wrong, but that's okay. They know what it is, and they have some cleaning brushes next to it, and it looks like they did test it as well. So this one has a lot of different carousel photos in it. They seem to have accessories, and they know how to test the typewriter in order to check it for sale. They also have a date on it, which means they might have done a little bit of research. So this is someone who clearly knows what's up. The Royal Quiet Deluxe models, not my favorite, but the ones in colors sell really well. They hold their value really well. It did come in an array of like pastel colors, and the pink one is very desirable. So my guess is that this one is probably a little bit more pricey because this person knows what's going on. I have seen machines like this go for $200 when they're professionally serviced. I'm guessing this person probably wants $150 for it. I think that would be a fair price for a pink Royal Quiet Deluxe from the 1950s. And again, they have accessories, so I think they know what's going on. So my final answer is $150. And $399. Not like $399, but like $399. This is from eBay, so now we're in a different market, which is a little bit different, and that can really change the value of machines. I find on Facebook Marketplace, in general, things tend to be a little bit cheaper because you don't have to factor in shipping. Now with eBay, they list the price separately than shipping. So I'm just trying to guess the price here on these machines. This is listed as Parker Typewriter partially tested. They have a lot of photos here, and they also have close-up shots on the side of different angles of the machine. So I think this person knows what they're doing. They've got side shots, they've got keyboard shots. It looks like they also have type slug shots, which is something I encourage people to include in their posts because as a collector, it's really helpful to know what kind of font or typeface you have on your machine. So this person knows what's up. It says condition for parts not working. So that might also affect the price. It honestly looks like a Remington to me. I don't know why it says Parker Typewriter. Maybe it says Parker somewhere on it. These are older, these are heavier, so heft can sometimes equate to price. For collectors, not really. We like the little ones. The big ones I find are harder to sell, but I'm guessing because it's on eBay and it's heavier and they know what they're doing, I'm going to guess $83.95 for no reason. $15.50. Okay, wow. I'm really bad at this. Okay, we've got another eBay find here. This is a 1963 Smith Corona Sterling blue portable typewriter with case. I just bought one of these for $25 at a Salvation Army. So this one looks like it needs a good cleaning, but these are really solid typewriters. I actually really like mine. In fact, I think I'm going to keep my 60s Smith Corona Sterling and sell off my 1950s Sterling just because I like the features on this one so much better. They do have quite a few photos here. In fact, there's even more than you can see on the side. I'm going to guess $49.95. Final answer. $97. Wow. What I'm noticing here is that Facebook Marketplace, for the posts that were chosen, seem to be a lot cheaper than the ones on eBay here. That's another thing to think about with the market. I like Facebook Marketplace because I'm only looking at posts that are in my local area, which means that I can test them. And as a collector and somebody who wants a machine to be working, that's pretty important to me. So I like that idea of being able to test things. I'm also hesitant when it comes to shipping a typewriter. There's just so much that can happen when you are putting it in a box and hoping that UPS delivers it correctly. I've had good luck shipping typewriters, but I'm also like really neurotic about how I pack them. Okay, vintage Remington manual typewriter with case. Check all pics. That's very helpful. So they do have quite a few photos here, and it looks like they have a photo of testing the typewriter itself. It doesn't say anything else under condition. I don't like the Remingtons too much because their ribbon spool is really confusing to me. It's such a different mechanism than other typewriters, and it makes me really shy away from using them or purchasing them because I just don't want to have to figure it out. I'm going to guess that this typewriter is $115. $55. I clearly don't know what's going on in the market. All right, we've got another one from Facebook. looks like. This is the Royal Safari Vintage Typewriter. These tend to be listed for a lot more because of their style and aesthetic. They're very 60s based. They can come in a lot of really cool colors. They're also a little bit heavier. And mine has a script typeface, so you always might run into something that has a special typeface on these Safaris. I don't particularly like using mine very much because this little bowl front across the front of the keyboard I find very difficult to utilize, especially with the spacebar. But people tend to post these for more. I haven't seen this one in my local market. I don't think. I'm going to guess 75. 125, so exactly double what I thought it would be. Ooh, 1948 Royal Quiet Deluxe Typewriter. Question mark next to 1948. Now this is a Dreyfus machine, which is a different body style for the Royal Quiet Deluxe. These came from the 1940s. And so they've got this like really square shape to them. I love the look of the 1940s Quiet Deluxes. That Dreyfus shape I think is really interesting to look at. And I think it's so vastly different than the 1950s Royal Quiet Deluxe body, at least in its styling. I think they're probably constructed pretty similarly. It does have a manual with it, but it looks kind of like a stretched photo. And if I'm looking at the top of the case, it kind of looks like maybe the handle's broken on it. But there's only one photo, so it's really difficult to know. I'm going to guess that this one is 148. Final answer. 125. Knocked down from 175. So again, this has probably sat on the market for a little bit, and then they've reduced that cost, hoping that somebody will be interested in it. Again, not bad for a reconditioned Dreyfus machine. Way out of my price range by like $100. But I was closer on that one. Here's a Sears electric typewriter. This is cheating. I've seen this one before recently. So I think this one was listed for like $10 because I think I considered it. Unless it's a different one. $50. Okay, maybe it's a different one. But this is $50 for an electric typewriter. So Sears did licensed designs from other typewriter manufacturers. So this is probably an electric design from someone else who made typewriters, and then they put their branding as a department store across the front of the machine. I don't typically buy electrics because I find they're harder to sell. It takes the right person. I have to usually sell them for lower, and anything can happen in an electric typewriter that is beyond my repair abilities. Something like a sticky key on a manual typewriter I can fix. Even a drawband I can fix with a lot of help on a manual typewriter. But when it comes to electric machines, there's all kinds of fuses that can blow inside of them. I have successfully replaced drive belts on these machines before, and that's worked pretty well for me. But anything beyond that, you're kind of getting yourself into a little bit of an unknown territory. So if you can test your electrics before you buy them, I highly suggest that just to make sure they're working. So $50 for this isn't bad. That's probably what I would sell a fully cleaned electric typewriter for in my area. So not a bad price, but way out of my price range for something like this. So when it comes to buying typewriters, there's a lot of different places that you can look. You can look on online retailers, you can go to a professionally serviced shop, or you can look at things like Facebook Marketplace or yard sales or antique stores. I like selling on Facebook Marketplace because I can sell in my local area, eliminate the shipping costs that might be accrued with sending a typewriter to someone, and you can always test that machine in person, which I think is a really great addition to utilizing something like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or any other local resale sites. When it comes to buying on eBay, there's a much bigger variance when it comes to prices because sometimes you get professionals who know what a machine is worth, and sometimes you get people who don't know what a typewriter is worth and they're just kind of guessing. When we assess the value of machines, a lot of people who do resale will look at eBay to get their prices. And that's why you might find the prices are going up in your local areas like estate sales or antique shops because they're looking at the value of that machine on online sites. So it's not like they're looking at Facebook Marketplace to see what people are buying. They're looking at eBay. And things that get left on eBay are probably too expensive because they're still on eBay. Same with Facebook Marketplace. Some of those posts that were $175 and dropped in price, that indicates to me that the price was too much to begin with and they had to reduce that cost in order to maybe get someone interested in buying it. So all of these factors can affect the price of the market of typewriters, and it can swing along with the economy. So I think typewriters are probably up right now. I've had a lot less luck finding typewriters for cheaper costs, especially on online retailers and in stores. But it can also depend on where you are. Where my mom's at right now, it looks like there's some good deals. And this is probably not a good time for me to go home because I might come back with like 5 typewriters. If you're interested in more typewriter content, I do have some other videos on this YouTube channel as well as on Instagram at just.my.typewriter. I want to thank you all so much for watching today and remind you, you're just my type. typewriter. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.